All right. Hello and welcome viewers and listeners to the Mind, Body, Spirit Network's weekly online interview. We call it our High Vibe Tribe Expert Interview. And today we have a world-renowned guest that I'm very excited to have here with us. And she's going to teach us all about something important. But before I get ahead of myself, I have some questions for you. Who do you truly want to be? And what's stopping you from being that? According to our guest, sixth sensory consultant Sonia Choquette, the best and fastest way to discover the answers to these two questions is to tune into your intuition, your innate psychic ability. So today's guest is Ms. Sonia Choquette, and she's speaking to us from Paris today, which she moved to 5 years ago, and I just got a great little backstory on how she ended up there. But she is one of the world's foremost authorities on intuitive awakening and affirms that if you truly want to reap all the benefits of living the life your soul desires, and living by your intuition is a must. And many of you may or may not know that I'm an online marketer, and I help people like Sonia, or visionary thought leaders and healers and agents of change with their online marketing efforts. And I really start with people that are aspiring to Sonia's level of expertise. And when I do my research to help people wanting to know how to develop their intuition and psychic abilities is huge online. That's what I look for. So I'm like, is anyone interested in this? And the answer is hell yes, they are interested in this. So you're filling a nice need here, Sonia, in helping people to develop their psychic abilities. So the reason I have Sonia on today is because we partner with the Shift Network, and Sonia is one of their upcoming event presenters, and she's developed a course around this that we'll talk about later. But that is called Your Sixth Sense Superpower. Discover psychic approaches to a greater authenticity, fulfillment, and joy. And I love this sentence that I pulled out of the event page. It's, Sonia's going to help you discover your intuition as an ego-busting, I love this, soul-led psychic pathway to a wide-awake life of authenticity, liberation, and creativity. I'm tired of the chains, the ball and chain that's keeping me stuck from being everything that you're talking about today. So very quickly, I have a little bio on Sonia I want to share with people that who may or may not know who she is. But she's a celebrated worldwide author, teacher, and consultant who affirms that trusting your vibes is the key to life. And funny that I call this the High Vibe Tribe. I'm suggesting we all trust our high vibes for sure. She's an enchanting storyteller and is known for her delightful humor and adept skill in quickly shifting people out of pain and frustration and into a more positive, happier experience. She's the author of 27 internationally best-selling books about intuitive awakening, personal and creative growth, and the transformational leadership capabilities that reside within, and most notably with the New York Times bestseller, The Answer is Simple. Why can't it just be hard, Sonia? Can't we just stick to the hard, grind nose to the grindstone, make it hard? I'm tired of that. So she's inspiring a global consciousness movement around her belief that as human beings, we're divine beings endowed with six senses to guide us through life. Sonia insists that we all must rely on our innate sixth sense in order to make authentic, well-informed, healthful, and soul-satisfying decisions. Sign me up. Her work has been published in over 40 countries and translated into 37 languages, making her one of the most widely read authors and experts in her field of work. Holy crow, woman, I did not know you had 27 books. That's congratulations. And please share with me the book that the one that we were talking about. Share with our readers the name of that book again.
My most recent book was called Waking Up in Paris, Overcoming Darkness in the City of Lights.
And there she is.
Yes.
She has followed her intuition to Paris, presumably. So, Sonia, let's just quickly I noticed in your bio that you really started to follow your intuition at age 12. That's kind of courageous,
Ahead of the
isn't
curve.
it?
Definitely. Well, I grew up in a family where intuition was the most important sense.
Oh,
It was absolutely considered the final word. And my mom was the one that raised us to be intuitive because she was caught up in World War II. She was caught up in the Holocaust. She ended up in the camp as a child when she was 12,
wow.
separated from her family.
Jeez.
And it was her vibes that saved her life, basically. And she lost her hearing when she was there. She married my father when she was 15, came to America. So she didn't have a formal education. She was incredibly artistic, brilliantly creative. And the message that we were given as a family I'm one of 7 kids, was whatever you do, trust your vibes. That's what will keep you real, safe, authentic, connected, protected. It'll give you the truth. It'll give you the right people. And that was our Bible.
Wow.
And, I just wanted to be good at it. So by the time I was 10, 11, 12, I was really good at this, even though it was very peculiar and not popular at the time.
I bet.
And I kind of had to go underground. I went to a Catholic school. But it's interesting because, I kind of always had this peculiar path. And even though my teachers officially didn't approve, one by one, over the years, they came to me. Clear back to my first grade teacher. So
they came to you in what way? What do you mean by that?
For guidance. They had seen I'd grown up. They'd seen I'd written books. But I started teaching classes when I was 15. And part of the reason for that was because I got kind of well known. I was like one of those child prodigy psychics, and so I got invited to do some police work, which I had no business doing because I was still a child.
Yeah.
It traumatized me.
Oh, you're kidding.
I was a double murder.
Oh.
A family, and clear like the TV shows, the bodies were outlined, the family was there, and I went being flattered that I was asked, and then the reality hit me that this is no game.
No.
And so after a year of recovery and back in hypnosis and therapy as a child, I decided that I was going to take this path very seriously, learn all about it so that people don't get exploited, so that I'm not irresponsible, that no one in this field is irresponsible, and that they really understand the depth of the importance of this work. So it's been my mission in life ever since.
So did your mother teach you about how to follow your intuition?
Well, she absolutely modeled it. My entire family is exceptionally intuitive in their own fields. I'm the only one that actually went into the direct work of doing psychic work and readings and teaching in classes. The rest of my family went into art, creativity, which was the other wing of my mom's influence, and I think they're twins anyway. And so it was modeled to me. And what happened was when I started going to school, what was absolutely second nature to me, or first nature, I began to recognize was not happening with other people, and it was very confusing.
Oh, so can you kind of be interacting with someone and realize they're not following their own intuition? Can you feel that?
Absolutely. And to me, that was even way back when I was a child. I thought, this is the worst handicap a person could suffer. If you don't have your vibes to track in life, you are just going to be a lamb chop. You're just going to be a sheep led to the slaughter. I mean, I really had strong conviction that if you're following your head, you're really following the fears of everybody else who put those ideas in your head, and that you're not connected to who you really are and your gifts and your protection and your path and your support and your guides. I mean, it just, to me, it was just incomprehensible how a person could have a successful life without being connected to your intuition. It still is. I truly believe that you cannot live a fully authentic, empowered life without that sixth sense leading as the first sense.
So I hope it didn't disappoint you to realize that most of the world doesn't follow that, or am I wrong?
It didn't disappoint me. It alarmed me.
Right. Well, good. Yes.
I got really busy, and I was willing to teach and write and be in the world. And when I became first kind of out there publicly, I had to take a lot of abuse.
Oh.
A lot of rejection, a lot of judgment, a lot of condemnation, religious condemnation,
Right.
intellectual assault. But I'm grateful for it because I dance in the fire of all that disapproval, and it's made me immune. So at this point,
you really are kind of like a pioneer of all this to come out, to be a part of this. Yeah. And
I think I'm a really good teacher. I learned by teaching so long, so many, and around the world, I got to study what the problem was.
Oh.
And I got to really understand the influences that cause people to disconnect to a natural ability. So I learned how to reweave it back in as simply as possible, because most people approach learning intuition like everything else, intellectually, and that simply won't work. In fact, it's a problem. It's an obstacle. The way to develop your intuition is the same way you learn to play, because it's the same part of you.
Oh.
It's the playful, creative, spontaneous part of you that is your inner guide.
So would that be a sign that you're following your intuition when you're having fun and going with the flow?
Well, that's even how I teach. My classes are really playgrounds. And by the time anybody comes and works with me for any short amount of time, what shocks them most is how fun it is.
Yeah.
And yet how profoundly healing, because to me, not having a connection to your intuition is a wound that is painful and affects every part of your life. So they heal while having fun. And that's why I just never lost my passion for it.
Good for you. All right. So let's just cover some quickies on intuition, because I'm sure the common thing is, how can I trust it? Right.
Well, that's a good thing. Here's a quick answer to that. Intuition has a signature feeling that's very different from your thinking, your wishful thinking, your fears, your ego. When you're in your ego, in your head, and your fears, the energy is very contracted, and it kind of sucks the breath out of you. Everything collapses. When you're in your intuition, your head is quiet, and the energy in your body opens up. And if you can, and I show people how to actually feel that so that they can tell. And I would say, don't trust your head. You probably can't trust it, but trust this expanded sense. Even if the vibe you're getting is a warning or a caution or even information that disappoints your ego, you still feel this open feeling. And so I teach people to look for the feeling of the expansion. And if there's any contraction going on, no, don't trust that.
Okay. So I'm an all in my head kind of girl, although I have my moments where I can get into the heart.
You could do it. I'll actually work a tool with you right now.
Let's do it. Yes.
That way, don't you think?
Yes.
Okay, so let's say, do you have here's the first thing that you need to know when it comes to your intuition. You have to be willing to you have to be honest enough with yourself that when you ask the question, you really are available to true guidance, not just wanting to hear what you want to hear.
Right.
So that's key. The second thing is you have to ask, you want to ask, you need to ask. It's not going to just come through. And if you don't ask, you're going to miss it. So I'm going to invite you to ask a question. I'm putting you on the spot. So
That's fine.
You have to.
Because, I need to be.
Okay. So we need a real question that you're truly available to some awareness, some new information.
Okay. So the question, this is totally putting me on the spot because it has to do with what I'm doing right now, is interviewing experts.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Does this, is this, I'm having fun, but I can tell myself that is. All right. So is this, what, is this a distraction or is this for real?
Okay. Now, the first thing you want to do is, and this is a little tool you can use. I want you to look around the room and just name one or two things you see physically right in front of you.
A microphone.
Okay.
You.
Okay.
On my computer and my little Edie dog.
Okay. Now there's a reason for that.
Mm.
You out of the head and into the physical place.
Okay.
I'm pulling your energy and getting you grounded in the real physical world around you.
Okay.
Physical. So now we need to empty the garbage.
Okay.
So here's the garbage. Fill in the blank. I'm afraid of.
I'm afraid of not moving forward.
And I'm afraid of.
A contracted life.
And one more, I'm afraid of.
Not leading a fulfilled life and meaningful.
Take a breath and don't raise your shoulders. Just take a breath. Just keep your eyes open.
Okay.
Don't just stay with me. Just exhale like you're blowing out birthday candles. Relax. Put you on the spot, so you have to kind of relax and just feel all that anxiety and breathe out one more time. And my heart says.
My heart says.
Keep your eyes open. It's too long. That's your head. Tell me what you see in front of you.
I see a computer and a screen and a microphone and Edie, my little dog.
Okay. And I'm afraid of?
I'm afraid of not moving forward.
Take a breath and just let out the sound. Stay with me. Keep your eyes open because we need to stay present. And my heart says.
And my heart says. I'm afraid of something.
Breathe.
I mean, it feels contracted. I don't know that it's.
Your heart's closed. Your heart's protected. And my heart says again.
My heart says, I'm willing.
Okay, breathe and smile. A real smile. And one more. My heart says.
My heart says, lighten up.
Relax. Stay in the belly. And just one more quick one. And my gut says.
My gut says you're onto something.
Okay. Take a breath. Let out a nice sound. So how do you feel? How does those, what is the head, the heart, and the gut, how do they feel different to you?
The head is resistant.
Yeah, good. It always is. It doesn't matter no matter who you are.
Yeah.
It's not psychic. It can't go anything but around in circles. How'd your heart feel? My heart felt contracted. Okay,
Like,
so protect, or we'll say protected.
yeah.
Then we went to your gut. And how did that feel?
The gut is kind of looser. It's like there's no resistance, really. It's just kind of
Yeah.
okay.
Your energy and your voice sounded different. Could you tell the shift of energy in all three?
Yes.
So, which would you trust?
The one that feels lightest and
Wow.
wants to smile and play.
Right. So it's a practice.
Yes.
It's like learning notes on a scale. It's learning vibration. These are the kinds of tools I wear. But when you went into your heart, you realize, okay, my heart's protected. So I got to work with my heart because my heart will give me guidance. Right now, it's a little bit, and partly maybe because I caught you off guard in all
Oh,
fairness.
it's okay. Yeah, right.
So seriously, it's just for part of it. But when you went to your gut, our heart and our gut give us two different types of information. Our heart gives us possibility guidance, and our gut gives us security and safety guidance.
Oh,
By the time you got to your gut, you thought you could tell your body, your spirit said, you know what? You're safe. This is good. And there's no way your head could say that or convince you. But when you connected to it, even the energy and the way you looked, everything about your face, everything about your aura, the light shifted.
huh.
And I'm sure that those who would watch this would see that. And that's what we have to learn with intuition. It's a different frequency and it's very physically different. And we have to go through these simple little steps that I take you through and have a whole bunch of them. But to get familiar with the feeling of intuition, and it's so different.
Yeah. And I have to say, I'm like impatient with the feeling things. When people ask me to how I'm feeling in the body, I'm like get impatient. I'm like, why am I so
Well,
resistant?
you don't live in your body. It's because your frequencies are up in your head. 99% of our planet wants us there, so it pushes us there. It's not a choice. It's kind of by default.
Yeah.
So we work to get back into our bodies. That's why in the spiritual world, so many body practices are so important, because our wisdom, our spirit, our inner guidance system, the first sense really is our heart. It's a conscious organ. And our second is our gut. They call this the second brain. So
Okay.
the heart and the gut are where our truth serum lies. So when the question is, can I trust myself? You want to trust what's true. But we have to get to where the truth serum flows. And that's why I kind of did this process with you that isn't complicated. And one of the keys that I really want to emphasize with this is keep your eyes open. Because when you go into your head, you're back into your story, you're back into the past, you're back, you're not here.
Right.
Intuition requires that you be here, you be in your body in the moment. And that's something very specific to how I teach that I have not seen elsewhere. But to me, did you notice keeping you here helped you stay connected?
Yeah. Yeah. And you've got to be reminded of it too, because our tendency is to not.
Well, we're culturally conditioned to check out and hide. And so I train you, but we have to do it in a way that's fun, not threatening,
Right.
not too many words. Because once we start getting into too many words, we're back in our head. It's gotta be super.
Sonia, this is like too funny that you, first of all, it's amazing that at 12 you're like, what's wrong with everybody? You know, and this is like a problem for you to have recognized that. And it would be nice for more of us to realize.
But you know what I think? I think all 12-year-olds feel it. I just had the support system to say so.
Right.
Yeah, I think we all start out perfectly conscious and very wired for truth.
Yes.
And we are negotiated out of it. And so this to me is a journey back home, and it heals a wound, plus empowers you in so many ways. I mean, this is why we need our inner guidance system. to keep us, to really keep us present and enjoying life and making choices that work for us.
Thank you. So on that note, well, I want to invite you, first of all, you want to check out Sonia's website, soniachoquette.com, and I'll share those links under wherever you're watching this or hearing this. There'll be links shared to go check out 27 books and beautiful oracle cards. I'm a huge fan of oracle cards. I just love them. And I love the artistry on yours. They're really beautiful. And I do want to bring up something kind of interesting. I have at the Mind, Body, Spirit Network, we do a monthly book review. And members from the network will share some of their favorite reads, and we talk about it. And Ask Your Guides came up on one of our book reviews. I'm like, I know I've seen Sonia's book come up before, so I looked back and I found it. So, and I want to mention about, I do want to bring up this one topic before we talk about your event, and then we'll wrap it up. But asking your guides, and many people know that I'm a student of Dr. David Hawkins, who teaches consciousness. I don't know if you're familiar with Power versus Force and his work, Sonia. But one of his YouTube videos is he tested the presence or the existence of spiritual guides and angels. And they calibrate as, yes, they exist for anyone who thinks they don't. Maybe you're just not aware of them. And I just wanted to bring that up. And how do you...
I'm going to use that information.
Totally use it. It calibrates as true. Angels calibrate very high. I mean, the energy of angels is at unconditional love. It's huge. And I've had some unusual experiences in my life where I've awakened into very high states of consciousness and swung back to into the fear side of it, which isn't pretty. But I know I had, on 2 occasions, I'm pretty sure for sure, you might know you're misintuitive, but I had an angel come into physicality to help me, and 2 other women.
I believe you.
Totally. I'm like, thank you. So it was amazing. I'm like, God, thank you for these beings. I know they're here to help me, and that they know what's going on. And I knew it at the time. I'm like, thank you.
Part of what I teach people is that we live in a benevolent universe that is available to us, but our ego doesn't.
Oh, right. No, right.
No, it lives in a very hot, I call it the bad neighborhood. It lives in a very bad neighborhood. And
they're gangsters.
Nothing good happens there. You know, when we go back to our true heart and our expanded self, we enter a very highly, happily populated neighborhood of good energy.
That's so funny. All right, so quick question on connecting with your spirit guides, which is in your book, presumably, how to do that. Yeah. Is there like a really quick little tip you can share about how do you know that you're getting guidance?
Well, it's just like when you are standing in if you're in a room and you're reading a book or something, and maybe someone comes into the room but doesn't speak to you. They could be behind you, they could be as silent as possible, but you'll feel them. And the reason you'll feel them is because if you're reading a book, or maybe you're ironing or folding clothes, your brain is quiet. So it's not distracting you. And you can feel the presence, so you'll look. And the interesting thing is, if we pay attention to ourselves, we do that a lot more than we realize. We're just kind of responding, and then when we don't see anything, we go, nothing. But it's actually a response to guides. Again, I'll go back to why I put you in your body. Your body is what will connect to the guide.
Okay.
Not your brain. Your physical body will feel the energy, and then your brain has to agree to it. And unfortunately, most of our brains are so conditioned as, that's crazy. In fact, if we have a moment, I had this really sweet, I was on a flight one time, and I was sitting next to a man who was reading a newspaper, maybe his 5-year-old son and me. I was on the 3rd seat. Man's reading the paper, and the little boy quite spontaneously said to his father, Dad, I saw an angel in my room last night. And his dad snaps the paper and goes, you were dreaming, son. And he didn't even look at him. And the little boy is kind of staring into space. And then he got his courage up and he goes, "No, Dad, it was real." And his dad snapped the paper again. He goes, "Son, there's no such thing." And you could see it in his face. He's just looking forward and he's making a choice. I can stay with my experience or I can stay connected to my dad. It was a struggle.
Yeah.
So he said, "Okay, Dad." And his dad never, so then the dad went to the restroom. I couldn't help myself. I turned to the little boy and I said, "I believe you." And his whole face lit up. He was afraid to say any more, but I just knew in that moment, I helped him come back.
Nice.
So it was an interesting little experience for how we lose touch.
Yeah.
So those angels and guides are so trying to help. And frankly, thank God we could use their help. To me, the benefit of being with your guides is you're never lonely.
Yes.
And actually, loneliness is the number one problem in the world for people right now.
And what's causing the loneliness is.
Yes, it's a bad neighborhood where everything's threatening, so better hide. So Ask Your Guides is actually my number one book.
Is it? I was going to ask you what your number one book is. And that's been around a while, right?
Yeah, it's been around for about 12 years. And Trust Your Vibes is my number 2 book.
Oh, cool. And that's fairly recent, right? The Trust Your Vibes? No?
It's been around. They came out really closely connected. But I think the world caught up with them.
Okay, got you. All right. So I want to talk about your event real quick. But I see you still do consultations with people.
I love it.
Oh, fun.
I am deeply committed to and enjoy the human, personal, authentic connection.
Yes.
So I think that I would get lost. I think that I would lose a connection if I just stopped.
Yeah.
I don't want to stop.
No.
In fact, I was by my teacher in his home, and I still offer salons of 5 or 6 people periodically in mine.
Oh, nice.
Because that's who I am, and I don't ever see myself changing.
Well, I agree. Sounds good. So I've noticed you've got a lot of interesting courses on your website. Is there one that really, you would stand out for someone to get started with? I see there's one on relationships, which is always good, but what would you say is great?
There's a couple. I have one that I think could really help people is getting your mojo back.
Oh.
Super depressed, and your mojo is your authentic self.
Okay, getting your mojo back. You're using my language, honey.
Yeah.
Mojo vibes.
That's my language too. And it's
yes.
Because we're talking about energy. There's a course on relationships. There's a course on working with your guides, Ask Your Guides. So, and I just love to teach.
Yeah.
I am really a true teacher. I am devoted.
Nice. Oh, I saw some amazing pictures on your homepage. It looks like you have big events. Like, what are those about? Are they retreats or what's going on?
Some of them, I have talked to up to 5,000 people in a crowd. Maybe something Hay House might have put on, or there's another friend of mine, Vishen with Mind Valley, puts.
Oh yeah.
I've spoken at A-Fest, and I've spoken at. I'm going next month to Croatia to Mind Valley Academy, University, and so but the interesting thing with me is whether it's 5 or 5,000, I can really create that same intimate connection because in the spirit there's no them, there's just us.
Right.
So,
you are the hostess with the mostest, honey.
I am a person in love.
Yes.
I love my mission. I love humans. I love the spirit we share. So I never get tired of it.
No, I'm sure it sounds like a nice life you've got there going, Sonia. Even though you had to go get through the muck to get you to Paris.
Don't we all?
I know. Yeah, I've been through some major muck, viewers, so, you can go to hell and back.
Exactly.
But why bother? Well, I guess there is a point to it.
Those of us who do can help others find their way out.
True. I understand that. We are every single one of us, I've realized, is the vibration of transcendence of something that we hold. And I know I got it going on. And Sonia for sure has it.
No one's arrived. We all are students and teachers.
Yes. Okay. So I want to invite you guys to join Sonia's event. And if you're seeing this at another time and you miss it, it's likely other things will come around, and you for sure can connect with Sonia on her website, which I'll share at soniachoquette.com. And if you can't spell it, read it below and on the screen. So this event with the Shift Network is going to lead into is it a 7 or 8 week course, or what is it? 7-week course. Okay. And could you tell us a little bit about what this course is going to be about?
Well, I'm really excited because it's live. I'll be doing a live teaching. It's not reading. I'm engaging, giving you tools, waking up your spirit, how to get out of your head, how to know the difference between the head and the heart and wishful thinking, how to get to the truth of things, how to understand how your body can start helping you be more intuitive, how to connect with guides, how to clear the past, how to use your intuition as a magnet for manifesting, how to use it to heal. It's just each week will build on the week before. I'll probably spend about 75 to 90 minutes live every week over the course of 7 weeks, and really teach you as if you were right in front of me.
Nice.
In a live class.
I think
it'll be very effective and dynamic. I'm really excited.
I'm excited for you. Congratulations. I hope I'm sure it's going to go just fine, because this is such an important topic. And I think it's so funny that you as a 12-year-old were well aware of what? How significant following your intuition. I've been called intuitive on many occasions, and I do have my moments, and I've always been
Yeah, the thing is we jump in where we love.
Yeah.
So whatever you love, you're going to have some intuition already working in that area.
Yeah. Yes.
So if you love science, you'll be intuitive about science. If you love real estate, you'll be intuitive in the real estate. If you love playing checkers, you'll probably so that's a jumping in point.
Okay. All right. And that is supported. Here's some more little FYI you can bring to your courses based on Dr. Hawkins' consciousness research, right? The higher your level of consciousness, and we have all levels, because we all got our stuff that's down here, and then we got other stuff that's up here. So we're a mixed bag. But Sonia is correct based on just the laws of consciousness. Love is a very high vibe. And the higher you go in consciousness, the more intuitive you become. So if you love something, go with that. That's your strong suit. Ignore everything else that you think you should do.
Forget about it. It's the bad neighborhood.
Forget the bad neighborhood. They are gangsters in the bad neighborhood. Wow. Stay away from that. They want to suck you in and make you part of their gang, and you're going to have to go through initiation that will bring you to hell and back, and forget it. Love, Love, that's where you begin. And on that note, lovey, Sonia, thank you so much.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, and I'm really excited about the class. So if anybody, that's listening, wants to join us, it's an adventure. It'll be fun learning and immediately life-changing. You'll get it. You won't learn about it. You'll actually get it.
Cool. Thank you. And you don't really need anything else. When you can trust your intuition, that's the ultimate tool right there.
It is.
And it's like...
It's the ultimate tool, and without it, it's the ultimate handicap.
All right. I'm going to thank you.
Okay.
Viewers, thank you. And so grateful for Sonia for showing up from her Parisian home, living her live stream in Paris. And you got to read that book. Say the name of the book again, Sonia. I'm going to pick it up.
Waking Up in Paris.
Waking Up in Paris. I have something about Paris with me, too.
It's a city where it's a very psychic city.
Oh, okay. All right. How do you get anything done? Are you constantly distracted, or you can stay centered?
No, I have really good focus. I ignore most material, physical things. I'm mostly connected to just following my vibes. I got a pretty good radar.
Nice. I bet you do. Well, I feel honored that you felt goodness coming from here and you wanted to come and join us today. So I'm like, woo, yay.
Wonderful. You're wonderful. And I
Thank you.
really appreciate everything you're doing. And you are onto something. And I encourage you to stay the course.
Thank you, honey.
Beautiful things
It's
in
nice
life.
to have a little support and validation.
Absolutely. I champion you.
I
Thank you.
champion you too, darling. So I can't wait to read your book. I'm going to read that book and then I'll share it on the book review.
Yay.
All right. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on our podcast, blog, wherever, we're everywhere. You just follow us there, and we're happy to keep bringing you these lovely interviews with amazing people from all over the world. Thanks to Sonia.